we would like to make this a more formal process, or at least make the opportunity for people to be or find mentors a little easier. And so we really hope that you will not just take advantage of this, but take this information back to your cohort members and people that you're still in touch with, and let them know both how valuable and how rewarding it is to serve as a mentor, or to be a mentee on your way to serving as a mentor. It's hard being a doctoral student. It's hard, it's stressful, it's a lot of work. And if you're like me, nobody in your family growing up had a doctoral degree. And so us first generation doctoral people, right? We're trying to find a lot of stuff out and figure out, is it just me, or is everybody this stressed, or does everybody know this information, and I'm the only one who doesn't? Can you give me some shortcuts or introduce me to some people? And that really is, it's a valuable resource, and there's a lot of privilege that goes with that. So we want to spread the privilege around to everybody. And as far as departmental updates, I'm really happy to announce that Wendell Scanterbury, Dr. Scanterbury, is our newest full-time faculty member at Eastern, and we're so thrilled to have him on board.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Sparks. What a blessing and privilege it is. So I appreciate it.
And we'll also be featuring Dr. Scanterbury in our alumni spotlight on social media this month as well. So kind of a MFT sort of April.
Yes.
That's awesome.
Yes, we've been doing a lot of mentoring in an informal capacity. And I would say one of the things about being in the earlier cohorts was there weren't as many people that had gone before, but here we are getting ready to admit cohort 11, which means that everybody on here is going to leave if they were in the new student phase and become the seasoned pros in the program. So prepare yourselves for that, because then it won't be too long before you are also on the other side even further as a graduate of the program, and someone will be seeking your advice out and your assistance and your mentorship, and you'll be able to draw from your experience and help them out. And so we were very thankful to be able to partner with Rebecca and the office that she is working in, whose title is longer than I can repeat, but she already said it once, so we'll have that count for the whole night. We're glad to be able to partner with her in this and to start making this something that's moving from an unofficial capacity to an official capacity, because this is something that we've wanted for a while, and maybe either Dr. Sparks or I have mentioned to you in conversations that it's something we're working on. And so we're glad to see it now coming to a more successful fruition of being able to implement it. And as with many things where you're in that inaugural group, you get what I think is like the guinea pig experience. So that comes with a lot of benefits, and then also a lot of opportunities to provide feedback to continue improving upon it. So we would also really value hearing from you the kinds of things that are working well, the kinds of things that could continue to make this a positive experience, because we're really always all learning and growing. You know, although you may be in the doctoral program for fun, you also tend to be in the doctoral program because you love to learn and you're continuing to grow. And so this is just another part of that. Although I want to keep some fun in the mix, because your mentors, in addition to telling you about the educational experience, might also be good resources for helping you think about the other aspects of your life. So you're a doctoral student, but also what are some things that you can do to think about the different parts of who you are as a person outside of being a student, whether that's in your families and your friendships and your churches and your social relationships and all of those things. One other thing I want to mention to you all, I know you're here on a Monday night, and next Monday night we are going to be having another event. This time is our spring workshop, and that will be featuring 3 alums of the program, Dr. Baker, Dr. Flores, and Dr. Boiten, and they will all be sharing about working with African Americans couples using emotionally focused therapy. So that's another opportunity to kind of touch base with some alums, hear from their experience and the work that they're doing now, and perhaps take what they're saying and apply it to your own active working things or things that you'll be doing down the road, or things like that. So we continue to build different things out, and we're really thankful for you carving out time to be with us this evening, because we know that you're busy. And so we don't take lightly the extra time that you make available for these kinds of things.
Definitely. So, I mean, what I can do now is I'm going to share my screen so you can all see the LinkedIn group. This way we can kind of go over the nuts and bolts of what we're kind of envisioning right now for the mentoring, and then allow everyone to take some time, talk amongst themselves, and then, as Kristen said, keep it a little bit shorter since it is a Monday night. And I know we all kind of want to go back to our comfy clothes and relax a little bit before Tuesday gets here. So first off, I'm going to send you the link for the group. And a few of our alumni anchors have already joined it, and Dr. Scanterbury has already posted. But let me share this screen so you can see what we are talking about. All right, hopefully that came up well for everyone. All right, great. So this is the group that you can request to join. What we're trying to do right now is kind of have it more a little bit casual, because we understand that everyone has different time commitments, and we want to give you time to just kind of log in, take some time, introduce yourself, kind of mention if you're looking to be a mentor or what you're looking for specifically for mentoring. And what you can do, and I'm going to pull up some examples just so people know, especially for our alumni, that you can put in your About Me in your section that you're an Eastern MFT alumni mentor. So that way, fellow alumni and students who join the group can take a look, see what you're doing experience-wise, and see that you're open to having someone reach out to you one-on-one. And then also, I think, you can also put it as an experience, as Dr. Gilmore did here as well. So, just somewhere prominent on your profile to show that you're open to having these types of conversations. But really, we're trying to build out the group first, just to kind of get a conversation going and seeing what everyone is looking for. So pretty much mentoring is going to be what you make of it. So if you're just looking for a quick question, but if you're looking for more of a relationship, we're trying to give it more into your hands to reach out and have those conversations. But of course, we're here to support if you run into any obstacles or need to flesh out some details. So this is kind of the step one, and then based off the guinea pig stage, kind of see how well things are going and what we can do. But we really want to make sure that people are posting in this and keeping it active, so prospective students, new students can jump in and see that there really is a great community in the MFT program to support during classes and after. So that's kind of it in a little nutshell. If anyone has any questions, you can take a look, browse around, request to join. We'll add you in, but that's really all I have. I don't think I'm skipping anything. Kristen, Dr. Sparks?
Well, I did want to emphasize some of the things you said, Rebecca, that this opportunity can be versatile and shaped to what you're wanting. So if you just have a question, you're going for some job interviews and you want some tips, or if you're looking for somebody who knows about a particular topic or special interest area within MFT, you can post a question and get some feedback. Or if you're looking for somebody, like I'm entering the dissertation phase, or I'm still in my classes, and it would really be helpful if I had somebody I could just, talk to once a month and kind of talk about what I find stressful, get some encouragement, have somebody pray for me, whatever. You can really shape it how you want it. but the
Mhm.
more people we have joining and posting, the more powerful that will be.
Mhm. And also, as you're thinking about this, not just as a student, but as a mentor or a potential future mentor, we also want there to be flexibility in what it is that the mentors are able to offer. So if you find that you're not in a position to meet with somebody on a monthly basis, but perhaps could meet with them on a bi-monthly basis, that's just a conversation that the two of you that have connected are having, so that the students know what the parameters of your availability are. So rather than saying, sure, I can do it, and trying to meet with them every month, but it really isn't working out, just saying up front if you can't do two, or if you can do it, letting them know about it. And I have asked Latifa, because she and I had talked a little bit about mentoring several months ago, if she'd be willing to just kind of briefly share a little bit about the interest or the desire for mentorship from an active student perspective. So Latifa,
Hi,
would you be so
everyone.
kind?
Hi. So, as Dr. Papa said, I am finishing up my first year of the program. And anytime I'm in front of a test, I think it's best to look at those who come before me or have gone through the process. Um, so, yeah, having a mentor can help with a lot. I have a lot of different questions that I have, and I know I'm still pretty early in the program, but I'm wondering, like, how can I like start to prepare for my dissertation? Like, how can I tailor my research if I'm doing a psychoeducational group? Um, and can I prepare for the IRB process? Like, just different things that I will want to know and want to engage in conversation with my mentor. And also I know that the mentor mentee relationship is a two-way street, and it's not only about receiving but also giving. So I think the relationship will allow us both to have a chance to build that personal and professional connection, that we can just bounce ideas off of each other, challenge each other, support one another, and also like help each other grow. So I'm looking forward to being a mentor and possibly being a mentee first, because I'm not all the way there as far as like being comfortable in the program. So I like to get a little bit more insight before I actually go as a mentor.
Thanks, Latifa.
And I wanted to say, Latifa, all your thoughts and questions sound a lot like the ones that I had. And I found that that's a lot of what mentors have to offer. If you're asking yourself, well, I'm not sure if I'm ready to be a mentor. If you've graduated from the program, you are. Remember how when you first entered, her question about the IRB, a big benefit to being to having a mentor is Latifa doesn't have to carry around that anxiety. One day I have to get something through the IRB, right? She doesn't have to have that hovering, because she has a person who's been there who can just say, I'll walk you through it. It's going to be okay. The process looks like this. And so anxiety management is a wonderful thing for people trying to get their doctorate.
Yes. So for the alumni anchors that we have on this webinar this evening, would any of you be able to just take a minute and talk a little bit about your sort of draw to being a mentor and what you potentially see that offering from the mentor side of things?
Hello, everyone. I'm Tiffany, and I'm really excited about this opportunity. One of the things about being, either a MFT doctoral student or a graduate is that we really look at, relationships as being foundational. So I think having that relationship as building that foundational alliance is going to be crucial to sustaining any type of mentorship. I also believe that, individuals who have walked through the process will really help out with demystifying the structure of the program. So we would be able to provide input about the next steps. And I look at it as a holistic process in general, because there are more things that happen while an individual is in the process of obtaining their doctoral degree. Things that happen within the family, things that happen in work, trying to maneuver between your job as well as doing your academics, time management. These are all things that individuals may not think about when taking on the task of a doctoral studies, specifically looking at timelines and how do I overcome, timelines when I have children or a spouse at home. So I really am drawn to really helping individuals go through the process, because as an alumni, I think it's important for us to increase the numbers in the MFT program, because the more individuals that enroll in the MFT program, the more our degrees will be sought after in, the wider arena for, academic positions or mental health positions as a whole.
Thanks, Dr. Gilmore.
So, hello everyone. I'm Dr. Skansbury, Wendell Skansbury, and I think just speaking to what was raised by both previous speakers, Dr. Gilmore and Latif, coming through the program, there's a lot that you learn by force and by desire. And I think that there are things for each of us that we can say, those of us who've been through the program, there is this component of what I wish I had known when I was at point A, B, C, or anywhere along the line of the process of pursuing my doctoral degree. So having learned several processes, strategies, ways of thinking or understanding or even processing things, and working through various struggles and life transitions or challenges, I think it becomes really not only important, but I think profoundly helpful to, in some way, shape, or form, be present to maybe lift some of the burdens or maybe remove some of those similar or same roadblocks from the paths of those who are in fact coming behind us and who want to get to the end of this program. I think it's probably fair for most, if not all, to say that there's almost this maybe like a sense of drag that develops almost the deeper you get into the program. It's almost like you start to second guess, should I really be here? Is this what I should be doing? Is this weight getting too heavy for me? And certainly there's a potential when you get to the dissertation or project phase to wonder at times, goodness, well, I made it thus far, but it doesn't seem that automatically means that I'll finish. And that could be really challenging, a challenging position to be in, and sometimes a very discouraging position to be in. I think, like Dr. Gilmore mentioned earlier as well, that there are so many realities of life that can step in, things that you don't plan, things that you certainly don't expect. And they can become issues or problems or challenges in ways that you would not have anticipated. So as a mentor, I think one of the things that I'm hoping to be able to do is to normalize the pain and the frustration and the confusion and the discouragement, and to be able to say, well, yeah, that is that's part of the process. You're not alone in that, and you're not crazy for feeling that way. But to be able to say, I'm here with you, and we could actually make this together. We make sure that you get to the next point or wherever you want to get at this point in your own mind, and certainly keep moving towards the end so that you know that this is not a mistake, it's not an error, it's not happenstance, but this is part of your destiny.
Thank you, Dr. Scanterbury.
Good evening, everyone. I am glad to be here with you all. As I was listening to Latifa talk, I can remember having the same questions during my first year. You know, how do I put all this together? Because I want to stay on top of things. And so I had a friend who had just finished her doctoral program when I started. And she said to me, I want to share with you everything that no one ever told me. And so she helped me to kind of organize myself, get myself together, organize my thoughts. And so now I want to pay it forward, that she did it for me, and I want to be able to do it for some other students. I'm excited about those of you who are in the program, and however I can assist, I want to do that, whether it's reading a paper or it's praying, because as Dr. Scanterbury said, life continues to happen. But what I found in the program, as life was happening and I was in the program, God has a way of integrating all of that together. And even our struggles, my struggles were useful. Didn't feel good at the time, but were useful in the program. And so however I can assist in making this process easier to navigate through, I am here to do that. So thank you.
Thanks, Dr. Herbin.
And I just want to note, some of the best mentors that I've heard of or heard from are the ones that have struggled. Because, you know, if you breeze through, what can you teach someone else? But when you have to hit those challenges and work through them, that's what really makes a great relationship to help others moving forward.
Mm-hmm. Yes. You know, this is a program that's emphasizing relationships. It's emphasizing systems. And we all operate within the context of systems and relationships. And each of you has had the experience of being a part of a cohort. And so you know some of what that relationship can be like. But then there's also the relationships with the people outside of this program that you had pre-existing to coming into the program, that we want you to be able to still have when you are done with the program. And, you know, one of the ways that I think mentorship can be helpful is that mentors can help share some of the tips that they use to either maintain some of their relationships or to make adaptations so that they could have strength in those relationships even as they continued with their doctoral studies. Because I know a lot of people who sort of stick their head in the sand to get through their doctoral studies, and that is one way of getting through it. But what happens is when you get to the end and you bring your head back out of the sand, a lot of time and life has passed, and you now have to do the adjusting because there's a new normal that's been established while you were doing those things. And so part of what is important is figuring out, how do I balance these studies with these other relationships that are really important to me that I don't want to lose just because I'm in a doctoral program where I'm studying how to work with individuals, couples, families, congregations, systems. I don't want that to come at the cost of my own, and we don't want that for you either. And so mentorship is just another way to be able to kind of get input and advice in addition to what we try and address in some of the classes and our relationship with you up to this point, that you can get some other voices and input in there, expanding it. So because we are a manageable group size this evening, we also wanted to make sure that we had an opportunity for just a more open conversation if there are other kinds of things that were on some of your minds, maybe to ask about this process or to bring up this evening. So we wanted to make sure that we had space for that as well. And that's part of why we brought everybody in as panelists. That way it's not just a question that's going in through the chat, but so that your voice can be heard and we can see you, because we want to be able to do that.
Dr. Papa.
Yes.
So there's no stupid question?
There is no stupid question.
Okay.
The question that you're asking is probably on several other people's mind that here and some people that aren't even here, and they're going to thank you later for asking it.
So I just have a basic question. Like when you move into, and I actually need to email you, Dr. Papa, as my advisor, but we'll do that. I kind of know what I want to do my dissertation on, or what I want to do my research on, but I haven't, like, I maybe need to narrow it down a little bit. But part of it is religious socialization and how that affects leadership members. So when you get to the point of beginning to do your research and your data, like, it's simple, but how do you reach out to people to be a part of, like, what is the best way to reach out to people to be a part of your research? Because you're not, I mean, of course you don't have, or you may not have as wide a network as being honest, as a Black woman, I've predominantly been in the Black church, but I want my research to be vast across church leaders. So if I don't know somebody in the Presbyterian church, but I want to do research there, how do I do that part?
Yes. So as you're thinking about participants especially, correct?
Yes.
Yes. So, I mean, right there, right off the bat, that's actually one of the ways that I would say being a part of the Eastern community comes in handy, because there have been times where we are tapping on shoulders of some of the people that are on this webinar this evening, or people that aren't here, because they know things that we don't know as well, or that it's their area of expertise, right? None of us can be an expert in everything, but we can have a lot of different people that are coming together that know more about a certain subject matter, or also that know more about how to access a specific target population. And so then we just start reaching out to the different connections that we have to see what we can do to make that possible, whether it's passing it along to a mailing list that they have access to, whether it is knowing that they are the contact person within a particular denomination, and so they might be spreading it around that way. So I think that is one of the ways that it happens. Certainly, as the researcher, you'll be looking into what it is that you can find, but that's part of what being a part of this community is about, is that, and this goes back to what one of the anchors mentioned earlier. As we continue to expand, right, then there becomes more of us that we can draw from each other. And so that has been what has happened in the past. And that would be what we continue to do, is we just continue to draw from each other. And as with any dissertation, yes, there's always going to be, some narrating that goes on. So that's a heads up to all of you that whatever you're thinking about your topic, it's a good idea, and we're probably going to narrow it. That way it's manageable, so you can finish and you can graduate, because you want that and we want that for you. And at the same time, we want this to be something that's really meaningful for you. So those are some of my initial thoughts. And as Dr. Sparks mentioned in the chat, alumni, any additional thoughts on this certainly are welcome, because you've been there, you know what it's like, and you can share some other creative ways of going about it.
Well, one of the things that's coming to mind is specifically reaching out to Palmer Theological Seminary because they have additional connections, and since they are a part of Eastern University, they may be able to give you specific referrals where maybe you can send letters out to specific churches.
A lot of us will be happy to help you expand into our contacts, right? They'll pass your links along or whatever you have for your survey. We've all been there. We've all needed participants. We're all happy to help you get them.
Yeah. Dr. Scanterbury also, I think he could probably speak to this pretty well from his experience of recruiting participants. And I thought I saw him on mute, so.
Oh no, I was actually about to share, so it's all good though. And so what I would say is that networking is such an important part of it. So there are a number of things on my mind. So first of all, in the program itself, across cohorts, you have a combination of clinicians and ministers. So I would say that would be kind of your first network to reach out to, just spread the word. I remember my first year when Dr. Papa was doing her dissertation and she needed to get participants at various points. And we were part of that pool, you know, the folks that were coming in. But definitely in terms of churches, I would imagine that even among the cohorts, there are a variety or representative of a variety of faith perspectives or denominational commitments and so on. So that would be one group that I would tap, but also like Dr. Sparks was saying, and so even beyond that, each person or various people might have larger networks of colleagues or cohorts. So you have, specifically with respect to the church, there are, you know, denominations might have a whole, like you have Greater Philadelphia or any area or community, county, or even across other states, denominations have networks or Class C synods or whatever they're called, where you have a gathering of leaders that through which you might be able to disseminate that through conferences. So conferences is my next go-to, right? If you utilize opportunities to attend conferences or so on, or if you're a part of any professional association, there are opportunities there. For me, I remember, and this might be what Dr. Papa was thinking about when she mentioned that, when I was in the early phase of my research and needing participants, I did a poster presentation at a CAPS conference, and I had flyers right there with me recruiting. In fact, I got, well, I think I got one of my participants from that, but several people had stopped by. In fact, a couple people, not everyone that volunteers initially is going to turn out. You would find that out as well as you recruit. But yeah, just utilizing every opportunity. Conferences are really a good place. So if there's a conference of the denomination, or if there's a professional conference of any nature where you might find representation of your population or people who might have access to that, don't pass up any opportunity, because you might be surprised at the interest level or the opportunities or unanticipated doors that might open up for you in those spaces. I actually also, as a member of the AAMFT, I remember plugging into one of the groups there, and I put out my my flyer there and talked about my study and sought participants there as well. So that's definitely a place that I think any of us who are mentors can help in exposing you to a number of the ways, but also utilizing our networks as well as potential channels for you.
It's a good question.
And one more tip, if I can. You are thinking way ahead. I appreciate the gifts that your OC-ness brings to the table. And also just know you have plenty of time. We'll walk you through it. Have people on your team helping to make that happen. You can't contact participants yet until you get it through IRB approval anyway. So you can give yourself a pat on the back for thinking ahead and planning ahead. It'll be much easier by the time you get there because you have thought about all these things. And all of these ideas that people have shared with you tonight, Michelle, we will repeat them. You don't have to memorize them and hold on to them for the next couple of years until you get ready to do it.
Thank you, Dr. Sparks, because you know I'm taking notes over here on this piece of paper.
And then a few weeks passes by, and then a few months, and then you go, I know I have it on that piece of paper somewhere. Where is that piece of paper?
I think what might also be true is the reality that your dissertation idea might start in one place and look one way, and by the time you get down to the actual dissertation, it might look completely different, and that's not unusual either.
Yeah, I love the head nods. It's like, yes, definitely. Although there are certainly some people that come in with a very clear idea and they don't swerve from it in the entirety of their beginning to end, I would say that is the smaller group. The larger group is the group that doesn't know, or even if they have an idea, it gets tweaked and then it gets tweaked again. And sometimes you can actually be in the midst of doing your research and there are aspects of it that are getting tweaked, or you don't tweak it during your research because you're too far into it, but you know what you would do different for after you're done, when you already have the degree conferred, and maybe other areas of interest that got sparked from all of the reading and the research that you were doing. So these are all very normal parts of the process, and it's also why it's a good idea to be just keeping track of these things as they come up, right? What those ideas are, and if they're shifting, that's okay too. All of those just give you more fuel to work with when you get to the point that you're having to settle down with one of them, because as I am fond of saying, this does not have to be your life's work. It should be a piece of your life's work if you're wanting it to be connected to that. It doesn't have to be connected to that either, but most people feel very strongly about what it is they want to do, and they have a very big vision, and we support that big vision. We do. But for the purpose of graduation, we want you to find your slice of that vision so that you can finish, and then continue to build on it after your degree is conferred and you are able to do even more of what it is that you had in mind.
The best dissertation is a completed dissertation. It doesn't have to be your magnum opus. But it needs to be something that will sustain your interest through a lot of hours. Any other comments about things that you would like to experience, or even, you know, if you're currently a student, and what might you might not have a specific question for a mentor, but you might be thinking something like, well, the hardest part of this whole process is blank. Even if you don't know what the question would naturally be for that, are there difficult areas for you that you just appreciate some understanding and acknowledgement in? And I promise you, if you put it out there, you can tell by the results so far, people who have just gone through something, we have lots of words and energy around helping answer your questions or helping you even identify the question. So
And even if you have to think about it for a little bit, that's the whole point of the
Mhm.
LinkedIn group. Feel free to post it there too. And hopefully after this, I'll send out an email with the recording and the group again, and you can share it with your cohorts and get a lot more people involved in answering those questions.
Yes. I find that I get really good questions when I've hung up the phone, logged off of Zoom, or left an important appointment. That's when the questions come to me.
Driving in the car. "Oh,
That's
I
right.
should've asked
Usually
that."
when I can't write it down, that's when the good questions come to me. Well, it's okay if you don't. This is just the start. You know, this is going to be something that's ongoing. And as excited as we are to have this mentorship group, we are still here also to help support your questions and your development throughout this process. You know, as different faculty or adjuncts or other kinds of roles that people have within the program. I know our graduates are very good about, even if they're done and they're not necessarily doing anything, they care, and they care about you. And if they can help, they do. So that you're seeing that here tonight with some of the ones that have come on this webinar that were, it's nice to see their faces, because we don't get to see your faces as much once you get closer to the end. And then once you're done, we have to come up with good reasons to get you back on Zoom or get you back in person. So this is one of those good reasons, and we're glad for that. I like to say, getting around to some people as you're getting to the end. I know this is exciting for you, but it's kind of sad for us because we don't get to see you as much anymore. You're like, we're good, we're glad, we're done. And I'm happy for you too, but I'm just a little sad because I don't get to see you as much anymore. So this is another opportunity to be able to keep all of those connections going. And I think Rebecca had said that, as you can see with this LinkedIn page, you know, this is one of those ways that we're going to be able to make that possible and to keep promoting it, and to extend this opportunity, not just to the people that are on with us tonight, although we appreciate that you came, but also for those that were not able to be here for their reasons. So thank you so much. And are there any other things, Rebecca, you wanted to make sure that we hit on, or sure?
I don't think so. Like I said, I did record it. So if anyone doesn't feel comfortable with this being shared, you can email me at alumni@eastern.edu, and I won't. But the plan was going to kind of put it in a Google Drive, share it with our alumni and students who weren't able to join us, and hopefully give them a chance to kind of skip around, watch it, get interested, and I'll post it in the LinkedIn group. And then if you can just spread the word and share it, you know, like we said before, the more the merrier. I think this is a great step one, and I see it growing to being something big and a great support for all of you. So again, thank you for joining us and spending some of your Monday night with us. So are we good?
I think we're good.
Thanks, everyone. Thanks for talking with us and sharing some insight. So thank you.
You have a wonderful night.
We have to request membership in the LinkedIn group. Is that right? And then we have to be accepted, so that we don't have people just clogging up the communication.
Yeah, sometimes you get a lot of recruiters and rando LinkedIn people. So we're trying to keep it a nice close-knit community for all of you, so you can share all that kind of personal stuff and looking for mentorship. So.
And also, Kristen and I are often getting emails from people looking to hire therapists or hire adjuncts or teachers, and we kind of don't know what to do with those emails, because we don't want to bombard all of our students and alumni with an email every time an opportunity comes up. But this would be a great place to post it, because then you can log in whenever you want and see it. So so workshops that we're doing, I will give, I know some of you are interested in attending the workshop panel, working with African American couples. So we'll try to get that posted there, but also let you know more about it. And yeah, feel free to let us know of things that you want posted as well. So good to see you, alumni.
Mhm. Yes, thank you for coming on.
Have a good night, everyone.
Great to see everyone and meet everyone that I haven't known before. So it's great to be here.